Clausen, and today I'm going to be showing you how to mount a tail feather of a pheasant that you've shot. We're going to need borax. This is 20 mule team borax. You can pick it up at your local store. You'll need some Clorox wipes, some sewing pins, and a knife. So to begin, you're going to first take the tail fan off of your pheasant. You're going to do that by taking your pheasant, laying it down, grabbing around the tail fan, and then taking your knife and cutting right above the vent. I already did this, so it'll save us time in this video. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to try to get as many feathers off as you can. That way, when you mount it, it'll look nice and presentable. So the first ones you're going to take off are the front. You're going to group them, take your knife, and then you're going to slowly just ease your knife down, and they'll come off all in one chunk. And then you're going to take your trash and throw them away. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to cut off the back feathers. These feathers are useless. They're not going to be seen. So you're going to do the same to them that you did to the beginning and the front feathers. You're going to group them all together, take your knife, and you're going to slowly ease your knife down through there too. Once you're done, you'll have a pheasant tail fan, somewhat like this. The next thing you're going to do is try to get all the red meat off of your tail fan. I do this just with my knife and easily just cutting all the meat off that you can. Once you get as much red meat off as you can, you're going to start to pin it. What I like to use is some sewing pins. These pins are pretty cheap. You can find them at any sewing store or quilt shop, and they're easy to use. I use my bulletin board, and it's really easy to stick them in and take them out. Alright, so now that we're ready, we have all the feathers taken off that don't need to be there. We're going to take our borax. We're going to sprinkle just a little bit on the bulletin board. You want to kind of rub it in there as best you can on the bottom. The next thing you're going to do is take your fan, spread it out as wide as you can. You don't want to have any gaps in the feathers. That way it'll look the best when it's up on the wall. The next thing you'll do is take your pins. You'll pin at least twice down here at the bottom. This will keep everything kind of stable and it won't move on you. The next thing you want to do is start on the edge and work your way up. So you want it to be as wide as you can, so you start with the edges and work your way up. Now that I have the tail mounted, I'm going to go ahead and pour more borax here on the top. And we'll work it into every single crevice we can. And then we'll just wait. So now we'll wait 20 days and then we'll come back and we'll put these on boards. Alright, now guys, we are going to have to wait about 20 days until both of these mounts are done. This one has 15 days to go, this one has 20. And once those days are up, I'll come back with you guys and we'll put these guys on plaques. Just remember that while you're mounting, you want to make sure that you put the pins towards the base of the feathers, that way it holds them, because once the feather gets to the tip, it gets smaller and smaller. So once you put it in the bottom, it holds it a whole lot better. On some of these longer feathers, you notice I put 2, and that's because it'll help keep it straight and it'll dry correctly. So we'll see you back in 20 days. Alright guys, and we're back. So this first one that was 15 days, I already got it mounted, so here it is on the plaque. I just finished these plaques this last week, so they're pretty new. And then I'll show you how to do it using this other pheasant and this plaque. So the tools you're going to need are a plaque, of course, a picture hanger. I prefer a cable and the little hook, 1.25" screw. You're going to need about 3 drill bits. These will be for the screws and as well as drilling through the mount. A screwdriver, pliers, and a bag for your pins. So you're going to first want to start unpinning your pheasant. And this has been on here for 3 weeks. So it's pretty simple. All you got to do is just remove all your pins. And remember, we left it in the borax for about 3 weeks. That'll help it harden, and then the feathers will stay in place that way. So now that it's been on the board for 3 weeks, it'll stay in place pretty easily, not too hard. So after you get your pheasant off, you're going to take your drill bit and you're going to want to drill through it the diameter of your screw. So if your screw is pretty wide, you want to use a wide drill bit. Now you might rip a few feathers out and that'll be okay. There's plenty more to make it look nice. So after you got your hole drilled, you want to move your attention towards the plaque. So you have your plaque here, and then you'll have your little tiny screws. I use a tiny little drill bit to drill the holes for this. That way these go in easier. They're just tiny little hooks. And so once you get it drilled, you just start twisting. And you'll take your pliers and get it a few more turns. And once it's pretty snug, you'll have your 2 hooks on the back and then your hole for your mount. You're going to take your pheasant feathers and your screw. You'll start by twisting it through your pheasant feathers. And once it's through the pheasant feathers quite a ways, you'll take it and find your hole that you drilled on your plaque. I made my plaques out of walnut. That's just my personal preference. You can make them out of any kind of wood you want, or you can probably find some that you can order online. Once your pheasant is snug on the mount, you'll try to adjust some of the feathers and make sure they're going to line up in the right spots. And then you're going to take your little cable that you have for your hangers. You're going to find your 2 hooks and you're going to put your cable through there. And and then do a simple little twist or two. That way it'll stay in place. And then once you have one side, you'll go ahead and do the other. And then there you have it. There's your pheasant feather mount. It's pretty simple and cost effective. It's easy to do at your own house. And now it's ready for the wall.